So yeah, this is the last video, and my shiny bald head, I think it's because my crown chakra is so open. It's like emitting this bright light. Can I do more of that? No. It's gone. So the last thing is sleep. Basically, sleep, to give you an idea, treating sleep as a practice. What I mean by as a practice is something that you get progressively better at instead of just like passing out. Treating it like, for me, I go to bed, it's like I make love to my sleep. I treat it as this like romantic relationship that I have with my bed, and that time, because I know how fucking important it is, for everything else. Like, there's shitloads of research now that it's like, so we're not learning things when we're doing them. That's when we're accumulating the data. It's it's when we're not doing them that we're actually integrating that data. One of the most effective ways is sleeping and having, like, you want to be getting to delta REM sleep. Like, delta is the brainwave pattern that you want to be having in the sleep cycle, and you want to be having consistent kind of like REM stuff. And if you listen to, like Dane said this countless times, but that which we measure, I forget whatever it is, that which we measure gets better. Yep, I think. And most people don't know how to measure their sleep. There is an app that you can download called Sleep Cycle, where you kind of like turn it on, you put your phone on flight mode, and you rest the phone next to your bed or under, like, on your bed somewhere, and it measures the movements of your body over the night, and also the sounds you make, and it basically produces this graph that then you wake up in the morning and you see where in your cycle or how effective your sleep was. Just having that awareness will improve the quality of sleep you have. If your if your sleep is already effective, you won't really notice much of a difference. But if it's shit, you will notice your sleep get better just through being aware of the patterns of your sleep. Yeah, so it's ideally it's in the delta REM sleep that we amalgamate, or we're more effective at basically learning the stuff that we've done. Yeah, we don't learn the stuff when we're doing it. We learn it when we're sleeping. Another thing that is really helpful is like getting some plants into your bedroom so that your room is oxygenated. Your bed sheets, your paint and the wall carpet, they're all releasing these like shitty fucking petrochemicals. It's just like constantly breaking down. And if you haven't got living plants, there are some plants that are better than others, and I'll tell you what they are in a second, to basically eat the shit that our stuff is releasing. Like, I'm not sure if you guys have ever like gotten really high on taking something. I have. I'm not gonna. That actually might be another. You know what? I'm gonna talk about that as well afterwards. But it's like, in these experiences, I'm like, I see, as I'm moving my hand, like I see the debris of my cells. Like, if you guys don't know, the dust in your house is basically your dead skin cells. Like, we're constantly breaking down consistently. Like, that's in our sleep, it's in our during the day, and if we haven't got living things to, like, the plants are really good at just fucking kind of consuming that. The best plant to have in your bedroom is a perennial snake plant, or it's also known as mother-in-law's tongue. It's the only plant in the vegetal kingdom that produces oxygen at nighttime. Every other plant releases carbon dioxide. It's the only plant that releases oxygen. So as you're sleeping, it's producing oxygen, which will enhance your sleep. And it also feeds off other shit as well. So having that, and yeah, like treating sleep as it's like, sleep is not doing anything. Sleeping is actually it's like if you really want to invest in personal development, then sleep more. Basically, is my opinion. The other thing, this might push some buttons, is drugs. When I say drugs, I'm talking about like entheogenic, uh, shamanic kind of like plants that every indigenous culture on this planet has consumed. They've consumed it as a as a food because it's a plant that produces these neurotransmitters that are designed specifically to fit into the receptors of our brain. Like, listen to this. They're produced in trees that plug into the little trees in our brain, like our receptor sites. If you look at kind of like really high-powered photographs of our brain, these receptor sites, and we have several kind of systems: the serotonin, norepinephrine, and then the third one, which hardly gets stimulated. But it's like they look like trees without they actually have leaves. And usually, if we're deprived of particular neuro or nutrients, then the trees lose their leaves, and then it's difficult to kind of like, it's almost like antidepressants that get burnt out, like the leaves on the receptor sites get burnt out, and basically it makes it harder to kind of like receive the neurochemicals that we're producing, which mainly get produced in our gut. And they're actually, to produce them endogenously, they're very expensive, meaning that we need a lot of energy, a lot of sunlight, a lot of fresh air, a lot of good food, and a lot of good quality water. They're the 4 elements, yeah? So it's like sunlight, clean air, oxygenated habitat, but actually quality breath, living water, like spring water, not tap liquids, because the shit that comes out of your tap is not fucking water. It's dead. And that's the stuff that you're putting into your body. Your body's made up of like 90% liquid. You want it to be good quality water. And then did I say food? So food is earth. They're the 4 elements. Drugs, not all drugs, but it's like psilocybin mushrooms, dimethyltryptamine, mescaline. They make connections in the brain. The reason they're highly effective for drug addiction is because drug addicts take drugs because they want to feel connected. They don't feel connected because of trauma that's usually happened in their life. And so those drugs they take make connections. These other psychedelic shamanic drugs, they fix those addictive patterns because they make connections in the brain that then will allow you, once you've got connections in the brain, you feel connected to your body, which will then make you feel connected to your community and then your environment. So yeah, taking them in a ritual ceremonial context are powerful ways of basically developing the brain and the nervous system. I talk about this a lot in my workshops. And like I said, I'm only in Melbourne for another week, and then I'm off for 2 months, and I don't know if I'm going to be coming back to Melbourne, but I would like to share this stuff with you guys at a discounted rate, because it seems like a lot of us are struggling, and I feel like this will greatly enhance you guys as individuals, but also your clients. So contact me and we can arrange something. Much love. Bye.